Hello, this is Mili Ponce from Songbird, and today we're interviewing Zak from GES. Hello, Zak.
Hi, Mili. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to do this interview for us. So tell us a bit about first your background.
I am the Director of Client Engagement for EMEA within GES, and I've worked in events now for about 17 or 18 years, always agency side. I've always been the glue between the client, the delegate, and what the brand is around the client, what they want to achieve, and how we make the delegate go away understanding what they were there for. So really all about immersive engagement and the creative strategy behind.
Excellent. So tell us a bit more about GES.
Oh, wow. I mean, there's a lot we can say about GES. GES are a global brand. We have offices all over the world. I'm going to try and do this without sounding like I'm reading it from a book, because you can get dragged into the corporate hammer. We are very much an event management and event production company. We specialize in creating innovative, immersive events for clients, for corporates, predominantly. Mainly B2B. Within the section of the world of the business that I work in, we are all B2B, with very, very little on B2C. We specialize in full service. So we own a software brand called Visit, which is about audience and data capture, which could do everything from registration to the analysis of the data after, where they were, what they did, how they engaged. It's a really cool tech software brand that we own. Which is something that is really coming into its own now, particularly as it's contactless. And then we do all of the really cool stuff right at the top end of the creative analysis, the creative strategy. Why are you holding this event? Does it fit in line with your marketing strategy? What is it you want the delegate to feel, to listen, to experience? How does the delegate feel when they've walked away? What was the message they took with them? So we do right at the top level, the really fluffy, cool stuff. And then we actually go out and build it and deliver it, and design it, and all of that stuff as well. So we do most of it in-house. I've done Chicago, Dubai, most of Eastern Europe, Poland, France, Italy, you name it, we go everywhere. And for really cool companies as well, which I won't name.
Excellent. Sounds really exciting. So do you get to travel around?
Yeah, I do. I do. I'm very lucky, actually. This year I spend all of it traveling from my bedroom to the kitchen to the office and the front room. It's very exciting. The rest of the time I normally travel the world. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to go and experience all the different ways and different cultures, and how things are so different, from whether delivering an event in the US to even delivering it in Italy, how different they are, and picking up the ideas that you can take from each country and culture. It's wonderful.
Excellent. So what is the biggest benefit that you give comparing with other companies that do something similar?
Our size and our experience, we've been established a great many years now. And if you are a company, for example, based in the UK, and you're one of our clients, if you wanted to deliver an event in the US or Dubai, Poland, Germany, it would still be the same account team. So you'd still have the same guy working directly for you, delivering a different event strategy, no matter where you were, or the same event strategy, whatever the strategy was from region to region, would all go through the same team. Now, we would have various teams locally delivering that for you to keep your costs down. There's no good flying, a tech, for example, from the UK over to Chicago, then flying him back, flying him to Dallas, then flying him back, and flying him to Milan. You get to use our local resources, but our global experience. So you have one team that uses those local resources to be able to deliver that event. I would also say our really big strategy is our innovation. That's our real. We are massive in pushing forward event innovation, event technology, and doing things differently. We're very good at filtering through the noise, so we know what's gimmicky and probably won't work so well, and we also know what's innovative and will really hit the mark of what you need to achieve. Because we have our finger on the pulse of tech, and we have a finger on the pulse of event software, and because we're doing so many events a year, around 3,500, we take that experience and deliver it to each of our clients. It's really good. Last night, for example, Tuesday evening, I had a call with some of our team, and there were people from all over the world on that call, and we were all talking about what we were doing and strategies and what we were working on and sharing best practice. That's a really cool thing for our clients to be able to have.
That sounds really interesting, because it's important to have the knowledge of how different each country works. Like you said, events were completely different in different countries, and it's important to know what the audience in that specific country expects. So that's really good.
Absolutely. And if you take, for example, there are some, if you go and work in Saudi, for example, there are some minor cultural changes and differences that could really get you in a lot of trouble. So, for example, if my client was a female and I was in a meeting room with her, I am not allowed to close the door. You and I would feel that. Normally, you go into a meeting room, you close the door. You cannot do that. Having that cultural awareness just gets you so much further in terms of respect and understanding, but also what you can and can't do. And particularly, it's even more prevalent now. I'm about to deliver a large event in Dubai in January. The COVID rules in Dubai are completely different to the COVID rules in the States, which are completely different to the COVID rules in the UK. Having that local knowledge means you don't get tripped up and the event runs smoothly, just even around COVID regulations, being aware of what happens in that region and how you keep your delegates safe whilst also following the letter of the law. That has a real value.
Yeah, I have some experience with something like that. I used to create events in the UK, and I went to create events in where I'm from. I'm from Peru, and even though I was raised there, I've been most of my life here in England. So when I created the event, all the attendees expected was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what people go for conferences. So the amount of money we had to spend in food when in the UK, well, they don't give you anything. You have to pay for anything you get in the
Yeah.
kiosk. Or And it was shocking because for them, if there is no food in a conference, then the conference is poor, is not good value, is not. And we're talking about executives, like owners of companies or even managers of companies, and they expect the coffee, cookies, lunch to serve, and. So that for me was a shock, literally. It's and this is my own country, so I imagine in other countries there must be some extreme experiences on running conferences.
I would say that probably the biggest challenge for me myself. I can't speak for other members of the team, but the one thing that I found, the biggest cultural challenge that I have found, has been the trade unions in various countries.
Oh,
That I
okay.
mean, in the UK, we just go and hold an event. We take our men,
Exactly.
we go into the venue, we build a great event, we go home, everyone's happy. And I think firsthand, I work in Canada a lot and the States, and even the differences between working in a venue in Canada, the UK, and the States, with just handling the unions and how that shapes and budgeting around that and how what they can and can't do, and making sure that at no point you cross the unions badly. That would be, for me, what I have found to be one of the most challenging, because it's quite a complex thing to be able to do. Everything else is fairly straightforward. I mean, obviously, in parts of the Middle East, you have to be very respectful of events being held, for example, during Ramadan. You have to make sure that there are, and you should at most events, in my mind, you have to make sure there is space to pray, and so on. So there are some smaller differences that are quite easy, but the bigger stuff, the more high-end political stuff, where you almost need to crew a specialist. So I have in the States a guy called Tony Gallagher, sorry, in Canada, and Tony helps me guide through how to handle the unions and what's right and what's not, and how we handle it and what we do and where their involvement kicks in, and so on and so forth. And it's not problematic, but you have to know. So but the client then has to pay for that privilege of having a trade union consultant on our team to work with the trade unions to make sure we do everything in accordance with the law.
Wow, you mean the trade unions for the people working in the event? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. People feel so if we want to take our own crew, we also have to have trade union crew used on certain disciplines. But that again,
oh wow,
that's different depending on state, country, and so on, a venue, and so on and so forth.
amazing.
And the client needs to be aware from that, particularly when we have a UK-based client, when they get a big charge and it's the trade union. So, well, we don't want to pay that. So, well, that's what you got to pay. That's the law. We have to have them, and then you have to have, for example, because Tony then would come and work on our team to help the client deliver. There's a charge for Tony's day rate, and he would be there throughout the event to ensure that things are being adhered to. But the fines and penalties are massive, and actually you could be shut down. So it's
Wow.
almost an insurance. The UK client typically needs educating on that, and I would say that's possibly the most challenging, because it's so different depending on state, country, venue. Yeah.
So, um, as I said, we were talking before as well about it. I've created some events, and then when I see the Web Summit, I think this is amazing. If I was to try something that I wouldn't know where to start. So, what would you say to people, maybe like me, that were speakers, or people that want to just create an event or start the business of events? What would you tell them, like, to look at in the future? Like, what's the main thing they should focus on before starting an event business?
Oh, I love this question. And for me, it's a very, very simple answer. In my mind, it can be summed down to one easy sentence. It's, what do you want your delegate to feel, know, and to have experienced when it's over? And if every single question you ask yourself points towards what that delegate experience really is, what you want them to leave knowing, if every single experience, every single basis you have, question you have, points towards that direction, you will create a phenomenal event. And I think that's what Web Summit's done really well. They want to know that they've learned something, taken something, grown something, found out something they never knew before, or it added to their skill sets. And if it doesn't point towards tech innovation, it doesn't happen at the Web Summit. You don't see the same people talking about the same thing year in, year out. And many events do. You will go to many, many events and you think, oh, come on, you did that last year. Or you've been saying that for 10 years. Or you're not advancing your strategy. You're not growing. You don't have that at the Web Summit. You have something new. Whether or not you go onto the main stage and you see one of the tech startups talking, you think, oh my God, that's an amazing idea. Really hope this gets off the ground. Or you see Tony Blair talking. It's about something that's someone who's doing something innovative. Everything points towards innovation, and the delegate leaving feeling that they've been a part of someone's journey and that they've learned something. And I love that. I absolutely love it. You and I spoke briefly earlier about the Porsche exhibition stand. Porsche is possibly one of the biggest and well-known high-end companies in automotive in the world. And they had a huge stand with no car on it. I can imagine there was a marketing director somewhere at Porsche crying about someone saying, we want an exhibition stand and we're not going to put a car on it. And instead they designed this wonderful immersive experience. I mean, how many car companies would be brave enough to go to an exhibition, build a huge exhibition stand and not put one of their cars on it? You have to tip your hat to that. Innovation.
Exactly. I remember going around the stand. Well, it wasn't even a stand. It was just such a massive place they built it. And I was like, what's going on here? I don't understand, because it said Porsche and there were no cars. There was, just all this information. And I mean, it was amazing, but I couldn't comprehend, where are the cars? What are you selling? And then when I entered, I was like blown away. I was like, this is amazing. You don't really need a car to sell cars. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And particularly if you look at the brand Porsche, people aren't buying the fact that it's a straight 6-cylinder car with twin turbo. They're buying a brand. Get a stand and push the brand, grow the brand, show the innovation within the brand. The car is the obvious secondary element. It's the metal, it's the wheels. That if you want to buy a car, well, spend £1,000 and get one off eBay, because it does the same job. You still get to work, you still get the kids to school. When you buy a Porsche, you buy a brand. And therefore, this exhibition stand represented the brand of Porsche. And I thought that was such a clever thing to do. We're not here to talk about the cars. We're going to talk about the brand, and the secondary output is the cars, because you know the cars, and here's the brand, and the brand is what you're buying into. Or you just spend £1,000 and get anything. It's a lot cheaper.
Exactly. That's great. Okay.
Thank you for doing this. This is quite interesting. I've really enjoyed the Web Summit the last couple of days.
Oh yeah, it's the Web Summit is amazing, and it's even better when it's offline. When it's actually in Lisbon.
Yeah,
is incredible. I love them. I've been going to the Web Summit since 2010.
Oh wow!
I actually spoke in the first Web Summit.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I used to be an international speaker, and in 2010, I was invited to speak in the Web Summit. It was 300 people, only one little room. And that was it. That was the whole Web Summit. And now I just tweeted actually my picture in 2010 in the Web Summit.
It's not quite 300 people now. It's a few
I know.
more.
I actually tweeted saying there were a few hundreds, and now there's more than 100,000. And actually, Paddy, the one that hosts the Web Summit,
Yeah.
He's retweeted it just now because it's a picture. Imagine 10 years ago.
It's such a phenomenal success story. So I've only
It
been
is.
to one web summit. I went to last year's web summit, and then I was due, and I had tickets to go to Collision in Toronto,
Yeah.
and obviously it cancelled. But I'm looking for. I speak a lot with Kieran and Mark Powell, and I
Yeah.
get on well with them. We were due to catch up again, but the world is the world is a mess right now. But next year, I'm very much looking forward to normality and going again. And I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to do Collision, Web Summit, and Rise. I like this event. We do about 3,600 events a year, and
Wow.
yeah, we're pretty much one of the biggest in the world. And this is my
Okay.
favorite. And this is truly my favorite. And we only we haven't even started working with them. We were due to start work with them last year in Toronto, and then this year in Lisbon. And obviously none of that has happened. But even so, because once you start talking with them, once you start engaging with them and understanding what they're trying to achieve in terms of engagement, in terms of event innovation, you can't help but become incredibly loyal to the event.
I know.
And you find yourself a part of this 100,000 person family who are all excited and all passionate about an event. I mean, how wonderful is that? When was the
I
last time
know.
anyone really was wonderfully blown away and passionate about an event?
I know. I actually personally find find this incredible because in 2009 I started doing events, and I used to do events of 500 people, 800 people. And I went to Paddy's event because he went to school with my business partner at that time, and he's from Dublin, my business partner. And he said, "Oh, I have this friend from school who's doing an event. Let's go and speak there." And I thought, oh, okay. And when
Why
I went
not?
to the event, I was like, it's so funny because I went to the event, there was 300 people. I thought, my events are much bigger. So funny. I remember that pride at that moment. I think, ah, my events are much bigger. And got out of there and thought, oh, well, I got to see doubling, and that was it, isn't it? And now I think, oh my God, this is crazy. How did he do it? I mean, I think I don't organize events anymore because after seeing the web summit, I thought, forget it. You've got to give 100% to get that big.
Yeah.
And creating events was part of my business, but it wasn't 100%. You know what I mean? So
But you
I gave
also
up
have
on
to
it.
have
I gave up on it.
you also have to have a vision and of where you
Yes,
want to go and what you want to achieve. And I think that's what they've done very well is they've really stayed true to their vision about engaging with tech. But people think, oh, tech events, it's going to be a load of guys talking about drives in a PC or weird and wonderful or not even wonderful, but just weird technology that we've never heard of and never seen. And actually, what they don't realize is that tech touches everything, and therefore you can touch every industry at the Web Summit and talk about
I
anything because
know.
tech is within that. And we ourselves, we own a couple of wonderful tech brands, um, and therefore that brings the event industry into tech. And you end up with people from your industry that touch your industry, engaging with your industry. You end up with these really cool conversations that can just expand and go further. And I actually get quite frustrated. I say to people, people have been saying to me the last couple of weeks, well, what are you up to? And as you do, dropping the children off at school or at the gym or whatever. And people say, well, what are you up to? So I'm at Web Summit next week. I'm going to be dialing in. And they go, and I say, Web Summit, the tech event. And they don't know it. And I go, hold on, let me take a minute of your day. Let's just have a chat about what the Web Summit is and what it stands for and
Exactly.
represents. And you end up pitching for them. I would say that a large amount of their ticket sales come from friends telling their other friends, you have to go. This is
Oh,
incredible.
definitely. I force so many people to go. I'm like, you have to go.
And then they
And
go.
more startups. Because I
Yeah.
have another business. I have a tech incubator.
Okay, cool.
And basically everybody that comes to our incubator and we take them to the Web Summit. It's like, that's it. You're going to be a startup in the Web Summit. So at the moment we have 3 startups in the Web Summit.
Wow, wonderful. And which section are they in a normal year? Where would they be? Because I know there's different sections, isn't there? There's a real junior startup, and then there's a beta kind of section, and then there's a more formal, like further along section.
Yeah. Ours I don't know. We didn't have to choose a section. We had to choose an industry. So we have it in security and in education.
Okay.
Uh,
Because for
so
startups, it's a very reasonable price to exhibit, which I think is phenomenal.
I know it's incredible.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and next year we have plenty of startups that we are interviewing at the moment in our incubator, and we're going to be putting them all across all the web summits. And yeah, so at the moment I'm actually covering that to startups and as a press of the web summit. So it's crazy because I'm being interviewed as a startup, and then I'm doing interviews as a press for the web summit. It's so confusing. I have three phones. Look, one, two, and my
Wow.
third here. So
Okay.
each of
You
them
beat me.
has
I
the
only have
web
three.
app. Each of them has the web app of each of the startups. So I have to mingle as three people, as four people. I have to do interviews as four people. It's just wow. Yesterday I went to bed and I think I just died because I don't remember anything.
That's how it should be. That a good conference or a good event, something like along those lines, should absolutely wipe you out by the end of the day. You should be full of information and have continually discussed your own information as well. It should be this wonderful free flow of comms, which leaves you both, everyone, you and your audience, exhausted because they've just been taking it in and you've been giving it, and then you've been taking it in and they've been giving it. It's been great.
Exactly. I mean, it's I think yeah, what he's done is amazing. It's and as somebody that did events, I'm like, I don't know how he did it. I think is what you say, the vision. I had no vision. I just had the fun of doing events. Like, oh yeah, let's do an event and because I have a big database. I could fill up 800 people up to sometimes close to 1,000 people. So I did it just for the fun. I had no vision, no where I want to get with this. And I think most people that do events like that, multi-speaking events, I don't think they have a vision. They just say, "Well, I do events," and they just do them for the sake of doing them.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting look. We could break down why the Web Summit has been successful in so many ways, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is it is so successful for so many reasons. I mean, you could herald how much they invest time and promotion into startups,
As
which
well.
I think is phenomenal. You could
Yes.
herald the quality and the engagement of the speakers on the main stage. That's mind blowing in itself. I mean,
It
Serena
is.
Williams tonight, I'm particularly excited. Chris Evans, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kevin Hart,
I
and that's
know.
not even industry speakers. I mean, they are relevant to our industry in some way, but I mean, true industry speakers who have only done our industry of some shape or form or another. Or you could even break it down to the incredible catering areas, how they managed to keep it
I
local and
know.
use really good guys to do the food and keep it so varied. I
And
mean,
the
what
companies that put stands. I mean, the biggest companies in the world have a stand in the
phenomenal.
website.
I remember being on the Porsche stand last year in Lisbon and just blown away. There wasn't a single car on it. How intelligent is that? Having an exhibition stand that was all about audience engagement and about immersive technology on a car stand with no car. I bet there was someone in marketing having kittens over it, actually crying. What do you mean you're not going to put a car on it? We're not going to take a car. How incredible is that? We have to do something different. We have to do something better.
And the one
We
that they
have
were
to.
throwing balls like a playing basket. Did you see that? It was
Yes.
all
Yeah, basketball one. I
virtual.
did see one. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I was standing there like for so long, and my team was like, come on, move on, move on. And I was like, no, this is amazing.
Did you see the boxing ring that went
Oh,
up?
oh, yeah, that amazing.
Yeah. Where you
Amazing.
got to pitch with an investor, a startup would pitch
Yeah.
you, and they'd
Yeah.
go up and have a 3-minute pitch and then come
I
down and
know,
discuss it.
that's just
Oh,
amazing.
so clever. But then there were 20, 30, 40 stands like that where you were blown away.
Yeah.
Every element of it is well thought through. They have a good brand understanding. I mean, to be honest with you, you would think I work for them. That's how much I enjoy the event. I speak so avidly about it, and we as a business and within the business, us individuals love the event. So our business loves their event because they are an example of how to hold an event well, how to stay to brand values, and how to be innovative without gimmicks, which is something I'm very keen on. But within our business, you speak to individuals like myself, Christine Martin, Dan Hilbert, Jason Sarabji, all these people that know it, and they themselves are passionate about the event. That's a phenomenal
I
sign.
know,
A
it's
phenomenal sign.
incredible. And everybody's so
So well done to
hectic.
them. Well done to them. Yeah.
I know everybody, in the event, it's not like you find people sitting bored. No, it's like everybody's going and coming and talking, and I love it. I just love
Yeah,
it.
so do I.
I'm so happy for him.
And I'm actually very impressed with this year's platform as well.
Oh
I think
yes.
it's been done very, very well. I think it's been slick. I think it's engaging. It's easy to navigate and it works. And there's some real, like, I love the mingle sessions. They're
Oh,
so
I love
clever,
it. I love it.
so clever. And that's what events need. They need that type of networking, particularly virtual events. You need that type of networking so you can do it. I mean, it just breaks down the awkwardness. You're straight in, 3 minutes, go, bye, 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 bye. Hi,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
can we connect after? Yeah, brilliant, done.
I know you
LinkedIn,
have no
done.
time to be embarrassed, nervous. There's no time for it.
Yeah, and once you've done a couple, you've got your flow, and you can, like this, you can just have a conversation. It's really nice. 20 in 60 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes, 60 minutes, 20 in an hour. It's a great idea. When are you going to
I
get
know.
to do that?
I know, it's incredible. And as a startup as well, it's amazing. I mean, we just got Amazon contacted us, and for one of the startups I have there, and they have actually made us a startup of Amazon. So now we're supported by Amazon.
That's
And this
amazing.
was through the website. I know we're supported by Amazon. So yesterday I received an email. He said, "Right. So what do you need from us? Do you need investment? Do you need what do you need? We're here to help you." I was like, "Wow, this is incredible." We are now part of the Amazon Startups program, which is amazing. And it's
That
thanks to
is,
the Web Summit.
congratulations. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations. You and the team must be very pleased.
Yeah, we're very, very pleased. So I think so many startups get where they want because of the Web Summit.
Of course. And I think that's exactly right. It would be amazing to see how many of those startups that are no longer startups have evolved because of what happened at that
I
time
know.
at the website. I'd love to see the data on that.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be an
true.
interesting story. And I bet there are brands in there that really are only existing nowadays because of what they achieved while they exhibited at the Web Summit. Brands that you and I would know.
Okay, well, this has been a really, really informative interview,
I'm glad.
and I've loved talking to you. So, thank you very much.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we will be interviewing you next year in the Web Summit again, just to know how is it going.
That would be great. And hopefully in person, Millie. Hopefully in person next year.
Hopefully in person in Lisbon with a sunny day.
Yeah, a good plate of food and a cold beer after. That sounds really
Oh
good. I
yes,
actually can't wait to go back to the night summit. I've really missed it, actually. I've really
yeah, me
missed it.
too, definitely.